Hi traders, will the dollar continue with its uptrend or is this part of a correction? That's our main focus. We'll dive into charts in just a second. First of all, be aware of this disclaimer. It explains that the video is shown to a global audience, may not be suitable for everyone though. Please visit admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence and contact the appropriate entity for more details. Also, please be aware that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. By continuing watching this video, you agree with this disclaimer and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Let's start today's video with the odd USD, looking at the 4-hour chart, and indeed price bouncing off the 75 region indicated last week, looking for a bounce here, and indeed the minus 61.8 trend line getting about 150 pip rally. And I took that trade myself, about 75, exited for 70 pips or so, and I'm out of that trade at the moment. I think there could be a continuation possible if price breaks out of this small triangle here. So if we have a breakout above the resistance, we can see price basically continue to the top of the triangle here, and we see a trend line around 76, 75. Also, we see two good 4-hour candles here indicating support, pretty big wicks here. So I think that breakout could happen today or later this week, like tomorrow. If we get a failure, if price breaks through support, we might see a retest, basically a hook back to that same support trend line, and I wouldn't be surprised to see yet again a bounce, basically maybe a small head and shoulders there, inverse head and shoulders, for another rally to the upside. Sure, this is still in a triangle, still in a range, so before we get a bigger move, I'm expecting only above basically this resistance or below the support trend line. I would still expect the zigzag to complete. This has been a consolidation zone that has really lasted already weeks and weeks and weeks, so it could be that finally we get a break at one point. At this moment, we're still halfway to range, so we could still see the move up to the top of this triangle or the move down to the top of to the bottom of the triangle. Either case, it's only still a move within this tight zone. For a bigger move to happen, we need to break below the S1 or above the R1 and trend line. Small triangle, that is key for this particular time frame. I think that this could be an interesting pattern. We have definitely good momentum to the upside, so most interesting, obviously, is the upside break, a push above 76 here. And if it does break to the downside, that is counter trend. So I'd rather wait for price basically to make its move down and bounce again off 75.30. All right, this week we have basically Net's weekly FX recap, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday. We take a look at chart patterns and wave patterns, live trading room. Wednesday, Net has his expert opinion, and Thursday we continue with the beginning and advanced patterns, and we'll take a look at part 2. So I hope to see you in these webinars this week. Back to the euro dollar chart, and we see that price has broken below the 110, but making a bit of a bounce now, just a tad lower, and I think it could make an ABC zigzag. If I put a fib on the most recent swing high, swing low, I think that price could easily get back in a zigzag pattern here, in back to the 38, 50 fib perhaps even, and turn around at those fibs. I would be looking for shorts at those Fibonacci levels. I'm looking for candlestick patterns at those fibs as a confirmation. On an hourly or 50-minute chart, as I said, I would not be surprised to see a 3-wave move up. We're seeing already basically the building blocks for that. Looking at the 4-hour candles, you can see already. Last time we saw that too. We still saw one more lower low. I think here we might see a good chance of a zigzag, but after that it should be bearish continuation, because if we look at the daily chart on the euro dollar, it has broken the 2-month consolidation. The 111, 113 range has been broken. It's over. And now we're seeing a continuation of this momentum. Whether it's a real downtrend, I am not too convinced as yet. I would like to see how this basically this fall behaves. If it continues with the same speed, then I'm joining the ones that say it is a downtrend. For the moment, I think it's more likely to be in triangle like this, A, B, C, and this is a D. So for that to be invalidated, I need price basically to break below B. All right, that's around 105-ish. Let me check for sure. It is, to be precise, 105.20. So break below 105.20, definitely signs of a downtrend. It could be a break pullback continuation. Until it basically, if I put a fib from here to here, if it respects these fibs, 107.50, 106.40, or this 109.30, it could easily still be a wave D of the triangle. And after that, there could be a 3-wave up for the wave E. And then I would expect the downtrend, the real strong downtrend, the weekly, monthly downtrend to continue, and that could bring it to parity or below. So that's an interesting development that is coming soon. Whether it's now or perhaps a few months later, that still depends. It also depends on how price behaves. How fast does it move down here? We had a great breakout candle, weekly candle, but I still think that that's just one initial start. I would like to see how this candle this week behaves. If it's another candle like this, if it's a bearish candle with a close right below the low, ending up right at the 78.6 fib, then I think that there's a good chance it's going to break. But if there's a candle like this with a wick and a doji or even a bullish close, then I think it's just part of a bigger consolidation, and we'll see a three-wave move up like this, and we'll see the consolidation last longer. Pound USD has been correcting ever since that massive fall 2 weeks ago, 1,000 pip fall. As we said last week, I'm not interested actually in the pound last week because I expected a triangle. That is what happened. We didn't get a continuation of the downside. At that time, basically, the dollar yen and the Aussie a week ago seemed more interesting, and that played out. Aussie was a great bounce. The dollar yen was a great upside. The pound dollar indeed did not move. Actually, it bounced off the 78.6 fib, respected the fib levels as expected in a triangle, and it's making corrections after corrections. So in this point in time, 1 week later, it is a bit different story now. I think that it's a crucial time whether the consolidation gets extended. Then we might see the pound dollar correct for a long time between 120 and 123. Or if it breaks sometime beginning of this week, probably, then we could see a continuation of that downtrend. So these two trend lines I have, if we see price basically breaking through 121.40-ish here, and also keep that break and keep a flag like this, make a flag chart pattern, then there's a good chance of a breakout. If it breaks, but I see a close in reverse like this, all right, then that could be a false break. So you want to see not only if it breaks, but how it breaks. Second of all, if it breaks the resistance, that seems more likely from my point of view at this moment to break above resistance, because I'm expecting a bigger consolidation. I think that a larger correction is in the cards and seems more likely at this moment. We got some resistance to deal with though, even if it breaks. Beware of this trend line. So if it breaks this 121.75, 122.50, 122.50, after that we could see probably 122.75. So right here, I'm talking about these zones right there to the upside. All right, and by the way, support, you can see it better if it breaks support here. You got that space down to 121 and then 120.70. Last but not least, the dollar yen, really, really great uptrend, and was a bit choppier than before, but still pushing higher and higher. Despite that, it is still not breaking the previous top, and I would like to see a clear break above that, so we have a clear higher high, and we can say that this is an uptrend. The momentum is certainly up at this point, and just waiting for that last push. And I think that from this perspective, a break above this resistance line should be a great uptrend continuation, and we should see price basically continue to the minus 272 target at 105. And if it breaks above 105, go to the next target, the minus 61.8 at 106.25. That's what I'm expecting. If it doesn't break and just continues to correct like this, it might go back to support that. There's a trend line coming in here around 103.50. That could still be a bouncing spot anywhere about 103.25, 103.50. That is a bouncing spot. Here is a breaking spot. All in all, definitely bullish, as you can see. I would not be bearish at all this week, no matter what happens, basically, unless it flies down here and makes a bear flag. Don't expect that at all. Definitely bullish on the dollar yen. Just waiting for the break of the daily top and looking for this pattern on the smaller time frames to play out and finish. And I think then everything is set for an uptrend continuation on this dollar yen. Okay, thanks for joining, folks. Hope to see you in the upcoming webinars this week. Take a look at these opportunities here to reach out and ask any questions you want. And above all, wish you great trading. Cheers.